Okay, so here in this lesson for 4-5 for algebra, we're still going to look at graphing some more linear equations, but these ones are like special or unique ones. They're not necessarily going to be in that y equals mx plus b format. And I have an acronym here that you can use to help remind you of these things. And that acronym is VUX, V-U-X, HOY, H-O-Y, VUX, HOY. So, excuse me, I just had breakfast. So the V in VUX stands for vertical lines. So vertical lines have undefined slopes, right? When I'm talking about a vertical line is one of those lines. And if I'm talking about my little person trying to walk up that, they cannot walk up that wall. They're not Spider-Man. I don't care. So that has an undefined slope, right? I can't walk up that anyway. So vertical lines have undefined slopes, and this is the weird part. They are x equals a number equations. Vertical lines have undefined slopes and x equals number equations. So what I mean by that is something like, let's continue with the blue, this. X equals a number 4. X equals 4 is the equation of a line that is vertical, that straight up and down vertical line. So that's where that VUX acronym comes in. HOY, if you could already maybe start to put together some of the pieces here, HOY is talking about horizontal lines. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope. So when we're talking about those horizontal lines, talking about something like that, and that makes sense that it has that 0 slope, because if I talk about my little person walking on it, it has a 0 inclination, right? The steepness of that line is none. There is no steepness. You're just walking on that flat plane. So horizontal lines have 0 slopes and are, instead of x equals a numbers equation, they are y equals a number equations. Have 0 slopes and y equals number equations. So, for example, y equals a number would look something like y equals 5. That's just y and a number. No, there's no x or anything involved. And that makes sense because if there was an x, well, actually, let's think about this for a second. If I go back to that equation, that y equals mx plus b, the m in a horizontal line is what? We just said that the slope of horizontal line is 0. So if I plug in that 0 there, y equals 0x plus b, that would be my 5. Well, what is 0 times x? When I take 0 and multiply it by x, that just gives me nothing, or 0 plus 5, which is just 5, which is where that equation comes from. So, 2 new things here. VUX, HOY. Vertical lines have undefined slopes and x equals a number equations. Horizontal lines have 0 slopes and are y equals a number equations. Your graphing requirements are still the same. Straight edge, arrows, label, and take up the entire grid. We have 3 examples that we're going to look at.